All right, we're on, people. That's right. Here, I'm here again with Jarhead 6, my sensei for today. We got some more topics to go on. It's not going to be like the last one. We actually are going to stick to the topics, hopefully, instead of being
Probably not.
ADHD. Oh, all right, yeah, might be ADHD again. But first one we're going to start off with is a video I watched recently, and I think it was produced recently by one of the YouTube gods in the firearm world, James Yeager. He did a video series on the Total Warrior, and this specific one pricked my interest. It's called the one on the spirit. Now, this video for those of you that haven't seen it, try check it out and see it. He has good thoughts, but let me get your opinion, Jarhead, on what you think about it.
Well, I mean, I, this is one of those topics that is gonna probably hurt some people's feelings. So, um, if you're ready to lose subscribers and get a bunch of trolls in your channel, that's cool. I know I got them in my channel, but it comes down to what you believe. I mean, I have a belief. And he has a belief, and people have different belief, and we live in an awesome country that allows us to pick a God and believe in that God. I mean, I think I know that my God is the right one, but I'm sure the other guy across the screen, the computer, whatever, is saying, yeah, right, my God is the right one. Well, I guess when we die, we're gonna find out who's right. That's the only thing I can
Exactly.
say about that. But I mean, he does bring good points and points that I agree with, and he brings some other points that I don't really agree with. But that's the great thing, you know what I'm saying about this country. We could do that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on it. I probably shouldn't have commented on it when I saw it, but
Don't worry,
pretty,
he won't read your comments anyway.
I'm not worried about him. I'm worried about everybody else under there. I'd actually think it'd be cool if he responded to it, but I think for a from a business standpoint and from a secular standpoint, he did a really good job because he virtually um he's everybody's friend. As long as you believe in something, you're right. Now he made all the atheists mad and he completely shut down one atheist in the room. But yeah, from a secular and from a business standpoint, he's protecting his business by not choosing sides.
Yeah.
But he says as long as you believe in something or if you have a higher motivation, that's all you need to be a true warrior. But you know, we sort of have to disagree. And I even said it in my comment. You have the right to your opinion. I'm not going to try changing it. But if you ever change your mind, here's a few things. But probably my biggest issue with that this is probably here or there, but his comment about he likes Christianity, but he hates the Bible. That's the thing I can't wrap my mind around. Because for me, I'm almost the other way around. I like the Bible. I almost hate Christians at some point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Well, you got to think. I mean, one of the comments in the video was that Christians can be terrorists. Anybody could be a terrorist. And look, I during my Marine Corps time, we had a Christian group that came down here, and man, I forgot the name of the church, but they were holding signs outside the base saying, "Hey, you know what? Marines are killers. Marines kill kids." Um, I remember we couldn't go to Walmart because they were all over Walmart holding signs like, I wish Marines will be dead." Now, as Christians, you would never think that a Christian will hold down a sign and says, "Hey, look, I want you to do this." You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that's not
Yeah,
Christian.
I want you to die. But then again, this is the problem. A lot of guys, and this is just what I think, a lot of guys go into following a person. You can't follow a person. You have to follow Christ. Once you follow a person, you're gonna have issues, and that's what happened with these religions, either Christians, Islamic, whatever. Whatever you are following a person. In that place, those type of Christians are not really following Jesus and God, are following a guy that is claiming to be a prophet. This guy is claiming to have the word of God, and he's passing that word of God to you, which is on fault. I mean, everyone has the word of God inside. Everybody has the power. The Bible says that you have the power to do what to tell a mountain to move, and the mountain will move. I mean, God didn't say like, "Hey, you have more power than this guy." God says that we have the power. So these guys are following prophets. Guys are coming out with this idea. The same thing with what is 7 Day Adventists are following a lady. I forgot the lady's name that supposedly was a prophet. So they're following their teaching, her teachings. So me personally, what I'm gonna do, me personally, and again, if you go to my channel, you can do whatever you want. But what I'm gonna do personally is that I'm gonna follow Christ, Christ's example. I'm not, and that's the problem. A lot of guys get concentrated on your pastor and things like that. And don't get me wrong, your pastor is the leader of the church, and you should go and seek out his counsel. But if you ever met a good pastor, at least mine and some of the pastors that I have, they always tell you to check, write notes, and go and check it. Go back and read the Bible and go and check it. And if you have something that it conflicts with what I say, come and tell me, because you got to understand the pastor is a man too. I mean,
Yeah,
yes, he's hold to a higher level, but he can make a mistake. He's a man. So yeah, that's the problem with it. They're following prophets. If you look at the Islamic religions, some of these guys are following something called a fatah or something. It's like a religious order given by the prophets. I mean, 1998, Bin Laden gave one that says pretty much kill all everybody related to the Western civilization and allies, whatever, whatever, whatever. So they are following those religious orders. So I guess my point of this, like a minute rant, is as long as you're following a man, you're gonna have issues. I'm not gonna follow a man. I'm a man, so I'm gonna follow
yeah,
God. God's example, what He did, and that is in the Bible. If you don't read the Bible, how do you know what Christ did? I just, you know what I'm
exactly.
saying? You weren't there. You have to read the Bible to learn what Christ did. So me personally, I don't have an issue with the Bible. I'm just like you. The Bible is the Word of God, and that's what I'm gonna follow. Or at least I try to follow. I mean, I make mistakes like every 2 hours. I make a
Yeah,
mistake.
no one's
So
perfect.
yeah. So
I mean, you make a very good point. As long as we follow a person, most likely we're gonna that something's gonna go wrong. Either we're gonna get too opinionated, or they're gonna lead us in a wrong way. But that's why the numerical center of the Bible, Psalm 118:8, it says that it's better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man.
mhm.
That's in the very center of the Bible, so everybody would get that idea. It's if you go with God, God's never going to lead you wrong. Now you
Yeah.
might suffer and you might get some pain along the way, but as long as you go with God, you're going to do the right thing. But if you
Yeah.
try following a man, he's made out of the same chunk of meat you are.
Mhm.
He's got the same ambitions, same problems, everything as you do. So he's probably going to lead you in a way that's not right, and going to lead you into trouble or cause trouble for other people. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
I mean, I look into the Old Testament, and a lot of guys have their opinions on why the Old Testament and this, and should we follow the Old Testament? Should we not follow the Old Testament? Everybody has something different opinion into that. Me personally, I always look at the Old Testament into like kind of like a background, like a history of what happened, and kind of like into it shows the power of God. Like God doesn't play around. You mess with him, he may destroy you,
yeah,
and it shows that. But one of the things that I see now with the New Testament is that, of course, if you look at the Old Testament, you see all these guys that were like awesome guys, like guys like King Davis. All those guys were like guys that were probably more holy than me, and they way more things for God than me. I know that for a fact. But every single one pretty much fell. None of them was able to accomplish what God wanted them to accomplish completely, because they're men. They fell. They fell into sin. They fell into some kind of issues, and that's why Christ had to come. That's what I look into it. Christ had to come because us as men We couldn't do it. We couldn't not do what God wants us to do. So he had to send his kid pretty much to show us how to do it. So why would I follow a man? I'm gonna follow Christ. That's my opinion. But again, guys, I mean, you have your choice. You have your choice to select who you want to believe in this country. I definitely think that it's our responsibility to preach the word of God, and He says it in the Bible. So sometimes you say, "Hey, man, what do you think about this?" And people are gonna tell you, "Hey, no, no, go away, you freaking fanatic, this and that." Okay, Roger that. You walk away, but you preach that word. You know what I'm saying? And I get guys that put comments all the time in my channel. Look, man, I lived 30 years of my life without God, bro. I like my last three a lot. So you do however
Yeah.
you want. I went to combat more than 4 times. I've been in firefights. I've been in car bombs. I've been in IED. We got hit with an IED strike. I know what an ambush attack it is. Trust me. I I did everything that you're supposed to do with the VA and medical and all that. I went through all that. The only thing that gave me okay sleep is God. So, um, so you guys out there, you make a decision. That's up to you. But in my house, we're gonna serve the Lord.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's what we're that's what we're both about. We are Christians, and of course, I'm a preacher. I'm going to try convincing you of of the truth that I know of in the Bible, but none of us are going to shove it down your throats and order you and say you have to believe this, because that's your right. And number one, as a human being, you have the right to choose on your own. That's the way God did it. And that's the way we do it. But also, as
mhm.
as an American, that you have the right to choose that religious system or not.
the thing
That's your
that
way.
the thing that like really really upset me, like he just like puts me on a different level, is the fact that you could go online and you could say I'm gay, I'm this, I'm that, and we have to respect you because we have to accept that this is the new word, and God needs to understand that this is the new word. So we need to accept that, and don't you dare to say anything because all these different groups are gonna like kill you or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
But once you say, "Oh, I'm a Christian man," it's like, "What? What do you mean you're a Christian man? That's just weird." You know what
Uh
I'm
huh.
saying?
Yeah,
Like,
we're the
like,
intolerant bigots, but everybody else can tell us to accept the
like,
times as they are. Yeah.
yeah. Like, here's my point, man. If you could say whatever you want in the internet, I can say whatever I want, and I respect you with what you are. So you need to respect me. But
Yeah.
people don't do that. It's like saying that you're a Christian man is like something wrong. Like, how dare you? You're a Christian man. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just weird. So whatever, man. It's gonna be a day, one day that everybody has an appointment, and we will see when we go to that appointment. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I think I ran for a little while.
Yeah. That's one thing. Yeah. I mean, that's one thing, honestly, I've come to on this channel. 'Cause when I first started out, I tried punching in different names like, Modern Archer or different stuff like that. And I finally settled on PIT Archer. But I'm like, I first started off like, what if I scare some people away or some people don't
I don't care.
want to follow me because I'm a preacher and different stuff like that. And just recently, like, I don't give a darn anymore. You could hate me for it, that's fine. But if you like me, that's awesome. That's what I want to go for. But if my career choice bothers you, that's fine. It
Yep.
doesn't bother me at all. Go follow somebody whose career choice like follows your likes. That's
Yep.
fine. It doesn't really bother me anymore.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to my channel, I say at the end of my videos, God is in control, and I won't change it.
Yeah.
So if you like it or not, that's your choice. That's my channel. That's how I'm gonna run my channel. But I don't really I don't throw it in your face neither. But when we do this live events and people ask me a question, I'm gonna give you my answer on what I think. I can't lie. I'm not gonna. I mean, I'm not gonna be like, well, I think this and this and this. I think that role situation, and my neighbors run out of food, and I have a lot of food in my house, I won't give him a meal because whatever him, he's gonna die. I don't care. I'm not gonna do that because I got a different belief system, and I'm not really scared not giving him a plate of food and him dying. I'm scared thinking what God thinks about me if I don't give him a plate of food. What kind of
Yeah,
blessings I'm gonna receive out of that. You know what I'm saying?
exactly. Yeah,
So I'm gonna answer the questions that way with that belief in my mind. But if people have different beliefs, good on them, man. It's a free country. Do whatever you want.
yeah.
So,
All right.
but yeah.
I think we spent long enough on that rant. Now one that might be slightly more touchy than the one we were on is the NFA is the NFA law has been around since what is it 1934 or something like that. Now, before we go any, before we actually talk about it and everything like that, we're not talking about openly rebelling against this law. I as long as the laws are on the books, we should follow them and do the do the best we can with those laws, work around them and stuff. But I'm wondering if we should try getting either the NRA or somebody see if we could repeal that law or sections of that law off because it's slightly ridiculous and it's excessively restrictive to some people. Like
Hmm.
I might have said this on a when I was talking to Bush Hunt or just offline something, but one time I tried buying a pistol grip shotgun with the full intent of putting a stock on it because I'm not going to shoot a pistol grip shotgun. But I went to start filling out the papers and the guy asked me for my CCW and I told him I don't have it yet. So he told me, and I told him it was because I was 19 at the time. He said, "You can't buy it then. The NFA law and any other weapon and stuff." I
Hmm.
thought, I thought, wait, you're gonna stop me from getting a protective tool because the pistol grip and not instead of a stock when I could buy a stock and put it on the
Yep.
on the shotgun and same and then trying to buy a stripped lower. I found a really good deal on a stripped lower to start building an AR, but same deal. I'm not 21 yet, so I missed out on a great deal because of my age. Nothing I can help.
Yeah.
So I mean
Well,
the
your age is not really a bad thing. Trust me, I'm 33. So,
Yeah, I know. I mean, I know I'll get there, but I was trying to wonder, how many people like me are out there who just either are really concerned about protecting themselves or just would just like to get it and do it legally, but they can't
you,
because of
you
those
know,
laws.
you know what's funny? You talk. How old you say? You 20, right?
Yeah, I'm 20.
I've been in patrols in Afghanistan with kids that are 20 years old. I got assigned to the squad to go to this place. So this guy was the squad leader, and this guy was probably 20 years old, couldn't be more than 20, leading a squad of 12 Marines plus a couple other guys that were, add up to that patrol, which was me and a couple other guys. And he probably has about $1 million in equipment that he's responsible for because the squad leader, the section leader, is responsible for all the equipment. So, you're talking about 16 rifles, 10 pistols, night vision capability, metal detectors. So I mean, I could keep going. Grenades, M67 fragmentation grenades, M203s to shoot 40 my mic. So this guy is 20 years old and has $1 million in equipment, responsible for 16 life, and is in the worst place that you could ever be in Afghanistan. That's where we were that day, in charge of a patrol. So you tell
Yeah.
me that a 20-year-old cannot buy a shotgun with a pistol grip? It's totally like opposite. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like we allow 19 to 20-year-old kid, 18-year-old kids to go to war. You know what I'm saying? Go to war and fight the enemy, but we don't allow them. We trust them with that, but we don't allow them to buy a gun in the United States.
Yeah.
My E3 in the Marine Corps, my Lance Corporal in a patrol had $15,000 in equipment on him. A pistol, M4, an M9 Beretta, fragmentation grenades, smoke grenades, flashbangs, maybe a Brisher kit in the bag, maybe an extra shotgun. But I'm not gonna allow him to buy one shotgun when he gets back. I mean, it's just contradicting, and it's one
Yeah.
of those things.
I mean, I
This,
can understand what they're trying to do by keeping, keeping guns out of gangbangers or, people who are irresponsible. I can see that, but you can't tell me there those people outnumber the people like me who just want to have the ability to protect myself and the rest of my family if it comes down to it.
yeah.
I believe there are a whole lot of people out there like me that, well, say just for a CCW who want to carry a gun but can't because they can't legally do it, even though they are responsible people and would readily pay for training and all that stuff. They can't
It's just
have it
that
because of their
you
age.
cannot be punished for something that you haven't done. That's the problem. We're not gonna give you a gun because you may do this. You cannot be punished for something you have not done, and it sucks because
Yeah,
you see some people out there. You're like, man, he owns a gun. Wow, that's unbelievable. But again, he hasn't done anything. You cannot be punished for something a crime that you haven't committed.
exactly.
So I said this many times on my channel. The responsibility of protecting yourself is yours. If you're in a mall and you're uncomfortable because somebody has a CCW or an open carry a pistol, that is your problem. You should go and get one. I
Yeah,
guarantee you, when I'm sitting down in a restaurant eating, and somebody comes in, because it happens here all the time in North Carolina, somebody walks in with an open carry, I'm not uncomfortable because I got
yeah,
a Glock 19 down my belt.
yeah.
So I mean, that is your responsibility. You can you can be like, oh, you can't carry a gun because you may do this. No, that's the. I mean, we're not in Iraq or Afghanistan or Cuba. You know what I'm saying? This is not a communist country. This is a free
Not yet, at
country.
least.
Not yet. It's going that way, but not yet. Um, you have the right to carry a gun,
Yeah,
and it just blow my mind that I think 18 years old is a good age. You're
yeah.
already an adult. And
Well,
if they
and
do a background check on you and you clear and you haven't been arrested, you have no issue, why not? You're a good citizen. You pay taxes. Why not? You know what I'm saying? So
I pay for
that's my
fat,
thing on it.
lazy people to eat off of EBT. Why can't I protect myself?
Yeah, yeah. And
That
wait
goes
until
to
you make
about
a
five
lot of money.
subscribers right there.
Yeah. The more money you make, the more they take away.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sometimes like take $800 out of your paycheck. You're like, really, dude? Like, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, you just beyond the age thing, which I'm against. In my opinion, if you can vote, why can't you protect yourself? I mean, if you can get a
That's a good
driver's
point.
license maybe a year or two early, then and you can do a whole lot more damage with a vehicle than you can with a firearm. Why can't you protect yourself? But and also under the those class 3 weapons or whatever that you have to pay that $200 mandatory tax on, then pay for whatever you go through and go through the 6-month waiting period and the extensive background check and all that.
Dude, listen, that is just communist government taking over, taking advantage of the American people.
Oh, I
You
know.
know people think that gun control is taking away your guns. There's so many ways that they could do gun control without even taking away your rights. Like paying money. You said it right there. If I tell you that it's going to cost you $150 to $200 to get a CCW, not too many people make that money. Some people just have the money. Some people can save the money in one paycheck. Some people will take them 6 months to a year to be able to save $200. Because let's face it, it's one of those things that is not a necessity for a lot of guys. It's one of those things that, oh, I have to do it, but people pull it to the side, and when it
Yeah.
happens, you're like, oh gosh, I can't believe I didn't get my CCW, kind of those things. But just by making, like I pay $150 for me, $150 for my wife. It's about $150, and I got a class for $50. Usually the class run for $90. So that would have been, almost $100 more. But just by putting those prices, like you said, those tax stamp, they're just making it impossible for the guys that don't make a lot of money. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of hardworking Americans out there that just haven't had the opportunity to have a good job because of the economy, and they cannot purchase. Excuse me, they cannot get a CCW, and that's how they're controlling you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that made any sense, but
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, let's put it into perspective. Like I told one guy about at work. I was just talking to him about buying a suppressor for a gun, and most people that I know have suppressors are not going to be assassins. They just want
hmm
it for their either to put it on their Glock so they won't have to wear hearing protection out in their backyard when they shoot. It's
yeah,
people like that. But I told one guy about the $200 mandatory stamp. Not to mention that most suppressors are what at least $200. So you got to pay
yeah, at least.
like a total of $400 for an accessory. So that's something
Yep.
that's nice to have. So,
It's kind of
but
like having a car and you're paying more insurance than you actually paying for the car payment.
well, yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, also, if all this doesn't make sense, let's put it like this. Say I want to start a radio show, like I want to be the next Sean Hannity or whatever, and I want to just start my own radio show and say what I feel is right and everything like that. Well, that I ask a broadcasting station, or I petition the government to start a radio channel, and they say, okay, now you can say whatever you want to say, but you have to pay $200 per show to sit and have pay $1,000 to have the permit to say what you want to say, but you have to pay $200 every time you have a radio show,
hmm
and then you can say what you want to say. But if you say what we want you to say, you can have the radio show all you want.
Oh,
That's what
exactly.
it's about. That's what that seems worse because that's restricting our First Amendment right. But isn't it just ridiculous to restrict what you can say than it is to
hmm
restrict how you can protect yourself and others. You
Yeah.
know
No, you're right. It's
that.
like paying. It's like paying for a license to go fishing. God created the oceans. You mean
Yeah,
to tell me that I'm gonna go fishing and I gotta pay you money to go fishing? Who
yeah.
told
Well,
you? Who
and the
told you
hunting
this to be
license.
yours? Yeah, and a hunting license. Like why? But I mean, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, but you're a disabled vet, so you get a discount. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your awesome discount.
What, $5?
I don't remember. I haven't get it yet, but I know that's what they told me, and I was like, I just keep blow my mind that I have to pay you to go fishing with my children. Listen, it's not only that going to the movies is pretty much you can a regular family cannot go to the movies anymore because if you take your wife and two kids to the movies, you're gonna spend $70. That's that's for like an hour and a half. Because
Yeah,
you don't know this because you're still young, but my boys, the moment that they go inside the movies, they'll look at me and they give me this look, like, "Where's my popcorn and my drink?" And are you stupid or something, Dad? Where's my popcorn? Go
yeah,
get it for me. They give me this look. So between the movie tickets and all that, it's like $70, $50 to $70. I went, I think it was like a week and a half ago. But anyways, so I want to go fishing with my kids, and I gotta pay you to go to the sea and fish or to the lake.
yeah. Exactly. Or
So
private property. I know a guy who lives his a river runs through his property. We got to pay to have a license to fish on his property.
really, and he owns the place. So I
Yeah,
gotta go fish in my place. I understand if I want to charge you because I own the area, but I want to go and fish in my land, and I have to pay you. I mean, it's just it blows my mind, man.
yeah.
It's the
Well,
same thing with that $200. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
yeah. Well, and do you understand what the? I'm trying to wrap my mind around the. Now I can understand why they would want to restrict fully automatic firearms because in the wrong hands it can do too much damage. But there again, most people just want fully automatic so they can dump a bunch of 22 ammo at as many cans as they can.
hmm
I mean, I can see why they want to, but there again, it's negligible why.
Here's the deal with that. Like a lot of guys says, oh yeah, why do you need an AR-15? Why do you need this? Why you need that? The purpose of those guns a lot of say, well, that's not going to protect you from a criminal. So some of that right that you have is to protect yourself from the government. If the
Yeah,
government goes crazy, you have a gun. That's why it's there. Like,
exactly.
you know what I'm saying? Why do I need an AK-47 or an AR-15? You know why do I need it? In case Obama decides to say I'm a dictator now and I will not come out of being a president and I'm gonna be here 50 years just like Fidel Castro in Cuba for 50 years, and something happens, or in case terrorist attacks invade this country, then we have a way to defend ourselves. Look at Russia, Putin, whatever his name is. What
Mm,
he has done in the last year? First of all, he went and took over that little country, and now from there he has the capability to come across Atlantic and attack the United States from that position. People don't know that because people are way too busy on Facebook. Now
yeah,
he went down to Cuba, which Cuba is 90 miles away from the United States, and paid off 90% of the debt in Cuba. Paid it off. Like he went to Cuba and was like, "How much do you owe? I'm gonna pay off your debt." And Cuba and Russia for 50 years they've been like best buddies. I don't know if you knew that, but they're like best buddies. So now he's like having connections, reestablishing that connection. I don't know about you, but I find it extremely suspicious that he wants to reestablish his connection with
oh
Raul
yeah,
Castro. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you just woke up today and was like, let me go to Cuba and pay off the debt? So now he went down there. There's a lot of countries in Central and South America that have communist belief, just like Colombia, Peru, and those countries. Venezuela, big one, straight out communist. But
mm,
now I think that Chavez, I think he died or something though. But whatever. So he's doing all those things. What about if something ever happened? Nobody thought about September 11. If you were to tell somebody September 10 that those two planes were gonna hit the twin towers, they would have tell you crazy. You're like crazy, man. What are you talking about? That would never happen, but it did
yeah,
happen. So what do you think is gonna happen if something happened and this country gets attacked?
yeah,
Like people, you know what I'm saying? Like people say, "Whoa, this is the best country in the world." I disagree with that. This is not the best country in the world with the best military anymore. So that thing that we used to claim like 10, 15 years ago, the Russians been stepping up to us. The Russians told the United States like 3 times already, like back away from me. I don't care what you say. Like the thing on Syria, what, like 8 months ago?
hmm,
I don't care. I don't care if this guy killed 5,000 people. We will support him. Took over Ukraine. I don't care what you say, United States. We're gonna stay here. They've been
yeah,
challenging us. So you need those guns in case something happened. You could protect yourself. You could protect yourself against the country, or you could protect yourself against invaders. That is our right. So
exactly.
I mean, but if you brought somebody probably heard me and they think that I'm a radical Christian something something.
Yeah, an
Okay, I guess
anarchist.
yeah, I guess I am. Put it whatever you want. We live in a country right now that if you wear an American flag, people think you're radical.
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You're wearing an American flag. Yeah, this is the United States, right?
yeah.
Well,
Well, I'm
I
trying to
don't
understand when it became a bad thing to be patriotic. I mean, I'm
I know,
wearing
right?
when I wear a shirt now, the power of freedom and different stuff like that. I mean, I could wear a flag on my shirt. Why am I supposed to be ashamed of it? I'm living in the country, ain't I? I mean, I'm not wearing a Bulgarian flag. Come on. Not that
Yeah,
there's anything
yeah,
wrong with Bulgaria, but
yeah.
takes a
But
picture.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
It's
but
just
I mean,
crazy, man.
yeah, I mean, and I'm trying to wrap my mind around the one that doesn't make sense at all is those the short barrel rifles. Why does that need to have the tax stamp and registered and all that? I mean,
Because
uh,
they want to take more money from the American people, man. It's all about money, dude.
oh yeah,
I mean,
that's the only
short
reason
short
prohibition
barrel
got
is such
repealed.
a good weapon, man. Go ahead, go ahead. I'm sorry, man. I'm freaking talking
I'm
over
sorry, I
you.
was adding on. That's why prohibition was repealed because they needed the tax money. It wasn't that they couldn't or wouldn't enforce it. It's because they needed the tax money. But where were you going?
Yeah. I was just gonna say, you imagine you with a short barrel rifle. and something happened, a home invasion or something, how easy would that be to maneuver that gun around the house? I mean,
It would
I've
be
been through,
perfect.
yeah, it'd be perfect. I've been through CQB training and schools. I mean, I went to a raid. A raid is when you go into a village and you raid the village looking for the bad guy.
Yeah.
And I went to a raid school that was freaking amazing, man. Like you pay thousands of dollars to go through that training. I mean, it was amazing. And I went through a protector service detail, which is kind of like a bodyguard.
Uh-huh.
And I got to tell you, man, that was the best class I ever did in the military. I
Wow.
mean, it was excellent, man. They teach you how to do formations, and you got this guy named the high value target, which is the guy you're protecting, and they teach you how to walk from the car to kind of like when you see the president coming out and the secret services around him and walking. It's just a class like that. Of course, not to that. I'm sure they go through way more training, but
Yeah.
it's the basic. But yeah, man, imagine maneuvering a short barrel rifle inside your house.
Yeah. Hold that
How
thought. I need to
easy
get my
would that
power
be?
cord. Go give everybody a military ranch or something like that while I get my cord.
Yeah, so I mean, just to talk about the school a little bit, it was a very, very good school, and they teach you how to protect people, how to shoot, move, communicate, and all that stuff. But definitely, definitely good training. So maneuvering that short barrel rifle is definitely very easy to do inside a house versus a shotgun or a long rifle or something like that. That's just very pretty difficult. Only guys that have done a lot of training can maneuver a shotgun pretty well inside a house. So Pitt is back. You good now?
Yeah, my computer gave me that 8-minute battery life thing, so I had to run up and get
Yeah,
it.
yeah. You good, man? You good? So
Yeah, but I
yeah.
mean that's my thing is I've been thinking about, um getting a Draco pistol. I thought, that'd be because the 7.62 round would be a perfect close quarters range caliber, but so that'd be great in a pistol, but you can't really control a pistol with those Draco things with just two
Mhm.
hands. It'd be a whole lot
Yeah,
better on your shoulder, but
yeah. I mean, you do have that brace that you could put in. It's probably very easy to maneuver.
oh
So,
yeah,
mm,
that that's sort of the thought there. That's sort of the thought there, but I mean, I'm trying to figure out why those would be restricted in the first place. That's short barrel rifles. That's still trying. I'm because everything else I can see a reason for. Like the suppressors, I can see why they would do that. Fully auto, I can see why they do that. I can't
because
understand the short barrel.
dude, I don't know who come out with these ideas because it's it's just not a smart people, man. I don't know how can I put it. I mean, it's a money machine. What they're doing, they're trying to make money. This is about money, dude. This is not about anything. Look, what did the guy from Washington D.C. shooter use? He used a 12 gauge. He used a
Yeah,
12 gauge. If you go into YouTube and you type reloading a shotgun, there is kids here that are 19, 16, 17, 18, 19 years old that could reload a shotgun faster than any operator in combat. So you know what I'm saying? The fact that you say, "Oh well, if you squish the trigger, it only has to be one round." I mean, yeah, I shot fully automatic guns in the past, but if we're looking at 50 cals, 240 Golf, or 240 Bravos, whatever they got now, and 249 squad automatic weapons, I used that one in 2004. That's what I carry in Iraq. But those guns shoot really, really fast. I mean, the rapid rate of fire is higher than, of course, AR-15 that could be fully automatic or whatever. But the point that I'm trying to make is like you could squish the trigger so fast that you could borderline make it feel like it's an automatic weapon.
oh yeah,
So you know what I'm saying? You could reload with proper training. You could reload your gun so fast that I mean I remember doing hours and hours and hours of reloading. in front of the barracks where we stay before going to combat in a line, Marines in line, with that rifle. Reload, boom, reload. To the point that you just could reload with your eyes closed. Muscle memory. So you could do whatever you want to do. The point that I'm saying is that you could do whatever you want to do, but if someone wants to commit a crime, they will do it. And there's
Exactly.
nothing we could do about it. There's only one thing we could do about it. Is be armed, have a CCW, and when that threat comes, prepare to defend yourself and do whatever you have to do to defend yourself.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like that brings up when I was talking to a friend of mine. I had told him about getting into hunting and different, trying to get into hunting and different stuff. But I made the comment, I feel like I'm gonna get a handgun. I want to get a handgun first, And he said, he just looked at me and said, you don't need a handgun to hunt for deer. I looked at him and said, you don't need a deer rifle to protect yourself from potential threats that could happen on you every day. I
Hmm.
mean, especially us in the metro Atlanta area. How many gangs are in this
Oh
area
yeah.
that could jump
Whew.
us at any time? And so he just looked at me and said, "You're paranoid."
Exactly.
I'm
You
thinking,
are radical.
uh-huh. Well, I mean, and this is a guy who is as pro-gun as I am. He just, in his mind, the only thing that should accept 30 round magazines is an AR. He's
Yeah.
just like he looked at me strange when I got a 30 round mag for my 22. I'm like, it's fun, dude. You get to pull the trigger more with less reload. So
You know what? If he thinks that the government is gonna protect him, tell him to go watch Brothers Keepers channel. I mean, he's a police officer, and he would tell you that they won't make it.
oh yeah.
They won't be
Well,
there.
well, his whole reason for wanting an AR is he is scared of the government turning on him. So I mean, he just doesn't see the need of carrying a handgun with you every day. So I'm just okay, dude. I just
Yeah.
part of me that wants to prove him wrong. Wants there to be a time where I have to pull my handgun and defend everybody while he's around just to show him who's paranoid now. But my biggest hope in owning guns is to never have to use them on another human being. I hope
Yeah.
I never have to do that. But if I have to, I will. And
Yeah. I
it's
mean,
that point,
and
have to, when you have
you,
to, not you.
it's just go back to that Christian point. You just sometimes you say something, and you're just gonna have to. Okay, bro. It is what it. That's why when people say, "Oh, why are you stocking up in so many rounds?" Well, because I know people that are in denial. And when I don't know, somebody from my family comes to my house and an economic collapse, a terrorist attack happened, then what are you going to do? You're going to be like, no, I'm going to open my door and say, okay, welcome to the house. And then if something really happened, like riots or something, I'm going to have to say, okay, here's the 9 mil that I had to purchase for you because you were too busy checking your Facebook. So here's your 9 mil, here's your magazines, here's your rounds, and I need you to stand in this side of the house and cover that section.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen. So, and I guarantee you that at that point, they're not going to think you're a radical. They're
Oh
going to be
yeah.
like, God bless his soul. He's such a great man. And you're just going to stand there and go like this.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Smug
sure,
face.
dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, dude. Just
Well,
make
I
sure we don't
mean,
get killed.
yeah, I mean, I'm almost to the point where if somebody calls me paranoid, I want to tell them rather be paranoid than right. Because
Mm,
if I'm right, it's a really bad situation.
yeah.
One or both of us might die.
Yeah. You just gotta make it part of your lifestyle. Like people think that you have no life. Like I got a life. I go camping with my kids. I go to the movies with my kids. We have family dinner. We play this. We do that. I mean, I have a freaking awesome life. Awesome. I love
Yeah.
my life. I'm telling you right now. God is so good to me. The only thing that I do different than maybe the regular American is that I bring a gun with me wherever I go. That's
Yeah.
it. I mean, it's that simple. The only thing that is different is that, in my garage or some place around my house, I got a safe with guns. And I use it to have fun. You go shooting. And if something ever happened, I got a way to
Hmm.
deal with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But thinking that the government is gonna support you is completely irresponsible,
Oh
man.
yeah. Well, I
Even
mean,
even even
even
the federal government, it will take in 2 weeks to respond to a hurricane. What are you gonna do during those 2 weeks? You guys just had that thing down in I-95 down there in Georgia with the snow.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, the what do they call it, Snowmageddon lockdown. That was I had to drive in that. I had to drive in that because it hit while I was at work, and I don't work in Atlanta, but I work. I worked at about. I drive 30 minutes away from home, and I was scared. I was scared coming home because my truck is a manual, and it was missing second gear at that time. So I
Hmm.
had to go up up a icy hill without second gear, and I got stuck
Wow.
behind a salt truck. So I'm like, oh, please
Wow.
don't let me saw it here, not here, Lord, please not here. So, but I mean, yeah, exactly. We didn't get any. We might have gotten some federal aid, but that's something that happens maybe once every 5 years here. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Even the governor had apologized because they weren't prepared. The same thing happened here in North Carolina. All the main roads were clean, but all the back roads were impossible to drive. So we were stuck inside our house for 3 4 days, which was fun. We
oh
went
yeah,
out there, we played in the snow, all this. But what about those guys that didn't have food, didn't have waters, and when the lights goes out, the bad guys come out.
oh yeah,
Those guys that didn't have a flashlight, a way to protect themselves. What about
yeah.
those guys?
Well, I mean, it's even funny. With my shotgun, I have it set defensive or specifically for defensive purposes. But in the 7 months or so I've had it, I've never had to use it. The most I've shot with that is all this junk you see me shoot on here. Shooting printers and heaters. That's most I've done. But one of the funniest things that I thought happened with all that is I got a few nightsticks and different stuff like that at the gun show. But my baby brother was home alone here for 3 or 4 hours, and when I came back, he had one of those nightsticks with him, and he knew exactly where my shotgun was.
Yeah,
So I mean, he's like, yeah, well, he's the one that in the shooting video that shot the shotgun was thrown back, but I still need to get
yeah,
him to. But
yeah. I see that.
I mean, uh, there there's been some times where he was glad I had that shotgun there, and I mean, one of the scariest things that happened to me in the middle of the night or something, me and him share a room, so we were just sitting there in our bunk beds, about half asleep, and then we hear this eerie sort of like Game Boy audio quality piano music.
That's,
It was,
that's,
I'm like, I listened and I listened to it for a few minutes. I asked him, "Are you hearing that?" He's like, "Yes." So we got up and looked. I mean, I don't have it with me, but I have a fixed blade knife stuck above my bed because I'm on the bottom bunk. I pulled that knife out and I had my flashlight. I'm like, "Okay, follow." I said, "Follow me, grab something." And we were walking around, and when I got to like the second room of my house, because we are checking everywhere, I told him, "If something happens, you know where my shotgun is and how to use it." And we just walked through the house. We could not find where that music was coming from. I mean,
yeah, I would have screamed Jesus the first thing.
take me now, Lord. Just take me.
I would have rebuked that so quick.
I know that was. I mean, but we finally figured out it was coming from somewhere down the road or across a couple trees at us. But yeah,
Yeah,
I was determined because if somebody's outside my house with something, I mean, that was the first place I looked. I looked out the window to see what I could see, and I couldn't see any movement. I couldn't see any profile of a person. But if somebody
yeah,
was outside like that, they would met me with my shotgun, and it would not have been a pretty thing, you
yeah.
know.
I
But
would, I would. My little boy, he used to have a lot of nightmares in the past, and I we tell him to rebuke it. When you see something, just say in the name of Jesus, just go away. And uh, and he stopped having nightmares. Like he just God is so good, he just stopped. And now every now and then he gets a nightmare, but he doesn't get too scared. Like he like I had a nightmare last night. A monster tried to eat me, so I say in the name of Jesus, go away. And I kept sleeping. I was like, it brings us so much because he used to be terrified, man. And God, man. You know how God does things, man.
Yeah.
He's so cool.
Well, I mean, I remember that sort of happening to me in the 3 years we spent in Arizona. I had some of the worst nightmares I have ever had in my life. I mean, now I just look at them like that was really weird. But back then I was scared to I was
Yeah.
scared about them. But I forget whether my mom told me this or if I just did it. But I was just every night before I went to bed, I'm like, I pray like, Lord, don't let me have a bad dream or something.
Yeah.
So it's funny even now before I go to bed, I still have say some prayer in my head like help me to have a good sleep tonight so I can be ready for tomorrow. It's odd how
Oh yeah.
little things like that still form habits and sticks with you longer than you want to admit it.
Yeah, yeah. I pray every night, dude. Every night, every morning, anytime yeah, I don't go to sleep without praying, man. I may have a Glock next to me, but I go
Yeah,
to sleep before I pray.
I got
That's like,
Jesus and Glock at my side. Who I'm not
yeah,
scared of nothing now.
yeah. Like, if you ask me wishing you on the prayer of the Glock, I take the prayer because that's how I sleep good. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, man. I would definitely tell you that if you ever hear a noise, the first thing you do, stay quiet. Just like straight off, totally silence, because you want to hear what's going on.
Oh
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? That would be the first thing. You hear a noise, you stay quiet and you starting to listen. Because when you really get quiet, you're gonna hear. And if it's a person, you could hear where that person is coming from and things like that. Of course, the next thing will be get your firearm, and then the next thing will be call 911.
Yeah.
Um, that's what I would do. If you have your little brother there, or like in my case, I got my wife. That's something that you guys could mix up. I get the guns, you call 911. And a lot of guys think that they have to be in the phone. You could call 911, put it in speaker, and drop the phone in the floor. They're gonna track your address and all that. Because I mean, I was a police officer,
Hmm.
and and
Yeah.
yeah, and that's what they do, man. You know what I'm saying? I cannot tell you how many times I'm in the patrol car and they will be like, hey, here's the address, and we're driving towards that direction, but we have no idea where the address is. Into we almost there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I mean that's what
So
I've done, especially at nighttime, because you can't see anything unless you have a flashlight. If I hear a noise, I just wait and listen, and if I hear it happen more than once, I
hmm
get up and check what it is. But most of the times around our house, it's either crickets or some bird outside, maybe a squirrel
yeah,
jumping on a log. So and most of the time I don't shrug, I just shrug it off. But
yeah.
that one time was like that like shook me. I was so scared. I'm like
Yeah.
because someone's telling me this might not be a person. Something is really weird around here,
hmm
But yeah, and another thing I thought was really cool, sort of want to get your idea on is our Sunday school class. The Sunday school teacher the other day was asking, we want your ideas for the next Sunday school activity we go on. It's the singles college career class. So some people started giving me suggestions. I just piped up and said,
I
honestly,
think
I'd be
get a girlfriend. Get a girlfriend so you won't be single.
well, I know. That's why I joke around. I'm in the Sunday school class that nobody wants to be in. Not because of the teachers or anything. It's because it's the singles. That one word, nobody wants to be there.
Yeah.
But the what
My advice
active?
would be get a girlfriend.
Hey, well, get a wife and you get a life. Well, at that point,
Yeah. Yeah.
but they started. I just like to say honestly, I'd be happy with going to a range. Everybody bring what they got and have fun there. And I was surprised. I had to specify to the teacher I was talking about a gun range.
hmm
But after I said maybe doing some competitions or something like that, and when they voted on it, it was relatively popular. So he said, since that was so popular, sometime in the fall we'll look into doing that. I'm like, okay, cool. So I started writing down ideas for a competition.
hmm
I'm calling it the. Of course, I'm going to hand it to them, see what it is, how they
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it.
yeah.
But going to call it like the cardboard competition because that's the easiest targets to get. It's a bunch of cardboard, you know,
hmm
and you can shoot as many times as you want to and stuff. But I thought, getting your opinion because I sort of have it with a defensive edge in it, like to start off with like a 22 handgun. I don't have one, but I hope somebody will let us borrow theirs.
hmm
Start out with the handgun. They have to shoot two targets, like transitioning back and forth, and then shoot one actual target and stuff. And they go on to like a shotgun, shoot something out, shoot two targets like that, and shoot one out of the air. Different stuff
Yeah.
like that. and then I'm gonna give them my 22 rifle, and with a 30 round mag, and have them shoot at two different targets like that, and then
Mhm.
move on the next stage. My redneck friends, their grandpa has a had well, after he died, they inherited his really nice Target 22 bolt action rifle. I mean,
Mhm.
the trigger is so nice. They need to oil the bolt a little. It's sort of sticky, but
Yeah.
I think the light trigger the scope is automatically zeroed in at like 100 yards. So you look through that scope, it's there. So
Mm.
shoot that at like 100 yards. So wait, you think that's a good idea? Trying to stick with 22 and some shotguns.
Yeah, I mean, I would. I don't know, man. You got you. I mean, what is the level of this people? You know what I'm saying? Because if you try to, I mean, well, it's a single, so everybody's like pretty young and things like that. You talking
Yeah,
about 19 to
yeah,
20?
yeah, about 18 to yeah mid 20s. I don't think the
Yeah,
oldest
yeah.
one is over.
Okay. Yeah,
So
so I think that would work because they're young kids and you know they're all about shooting and having fun. But if if you put like a 40-year-old little old lady, you know, 40
yeah,
Christian nice lady running and shooting shotgun, that would be a little bit too much.
yeah.
But
Well, I mean, the one of it because I want to tell everybody I want as many girls to come to this as they can because I sort of have the competition set up to teach you how to use it defensively
yeah,
while you're still having fun. You don't realize it. So I want them to know, hey, if some guy try, I want you to know how to use this because of guys like me. If a guy jumps you, most likely you're not going to be overpower him. I mean, unless you're some of those Hollywood lady stars that beat the crap out of guys for a living, you're not going to be able
yeah,
to overpower them. So this could help you defend from me if I turn
yeah.
on you. So
Yeah, I
I'm,
will
I'm
make it. I will make it fun. I will make it safe. I would definitely give in some type of safe because it's gonna be a bunch of people. I would definitely give in some type of safety brief on what do you expect. I will point out like different explain the range so they know exactly what they're shooting at. You don't want to be like, where do you want me to shoot? Back to your
yeah.
turn.
Well, I mean
So
that's definitely in it, and we could either do it at somebody's property, which I go shooting at a lot, or there's a gun range out here that's outdoors. I'm not going to stick them in an indoors range. I don't even like the idea
yeah.
of indoor ranges, but they stick them outside, and I mean, if their range officers can't be there, or if we're at the property, I'm definitely going to give them those five basic rules. Treat it like
Hmm.
a safe, because I know some people are like, oh, that's a danger machine. It's a killing item. Get that fear out of them. Like, and before they can move on to the next stage or something, they have to drop the mag out of it if it has a mag, and hold the action open, make and give it to somebody, make sure it's clear before they put it on the table or something and
Yeah.
move. Show them this is completely safe. It's just like driving a car, you
Yeah,
know?
put some. I would definitely put do some dry fire before they do it.
Yeah.
So just to be familiar, you know, you don't want to hold a rifle for the first time and take a shot. If there's their first time, you know, play with it for a couple of minutes, try to shoot it, look through the sights, do some dry fire, get a feel for it. Because the 22 is not going to be too much different when you take a couple of shots. And my experience with the 22, everyone likes him. Like the first time I took my wife to shoot a 22, she took a couple of rounds, and I had a 30-06, I had a 308, and I had a 22 that day. And she took a shot, I think in 308, and then she took a shot on the 22, and she was like, "You could keep shooting that one. I'm gonna shoot this one." And
Yeah.
because yeah, 22 is fun. You know what I'm saying? So definitely do some type of class, like a small class. You know, hey, this is what it is. This is how you shoot. This is the
Yeah.
capital. So people are informed.
Well,
It's
I
fun.
have that in there. I have it planned out. Everybody has like about 25 rounds to practice with it. I mean, it's like, okay, here's the pistol. Here's how you hold the pistol. Here's how you look down. And shoot a few rounds and get acquainted with it and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
I definitely have that.
yeah.
But
Now the shotgun is gonna be fun. Some people may get
yeah.
some bruises out of that one,
Yeah. Well, I
but
mean, what my thing is, I have some friends who have a 20 gauge, so I'm like, okay, the guys are going to
yeah,
shoot my 12 gauge, the girls are going to take. Now, if we had a pump action 410, that would be ideal. But
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
anybody who has a pump action
I'll,
410
I'll,
stuff.
I'll let everybody shoot the 12 gauge. That would be fun. The
No, we
next
have a
Sunday
girl.
class.
We have a girl in there that's 4'11". I do not want to see her fly backwards like that midget in
Yeah,
Pirates of the Caribbean. I do not want to
yeah,
see that because I'm gonna have to pick her up.
yeah, but definitely have some type of safety officers, if you want to call it. We used to call it PSO, position safety officers, that are standing there. Just because somebody gets fun, you start shooting, you don't really realize, and that person is making sure that the safety is there because you don't want somebody shooting themselves.
Yeah.
Trust me, I
Well,
see that.
we also have like 2 or 3 police officers in our church, so I might
Oh
I
yeah,
might ask them, if only one of you could at least one of you come to make, so we have a law enforcement guy a guy who's actually paid to do this. One guy, he's
yeah.
actually I think works with he either now works for the DEA or he worked with the DEA. So I think he's the training guy for them now, but that would be the perfect guy because he's hilarious. He's a hilarious guy. But
Nice. Yeah, those guys were experienced. They're gonna help out a lot. And don't make it too I wouldn't make the course too complicated. I would make it like in a single line forward, not like like a circle or anything like that,
mm.
because people may get confused. I mean, this is just average people. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, that's what I was trying to think. Because first when I had it set up, I had I'd have my 9 mil at that time. Okay, you shoot the 9 mil first, then move on to the shotgun, then move on to this 22, then
Yeah,
move on to this bolt action stuff. But I thought that might be too complicated. Now I have an individual bracket where everybody does all those themselves, but then I have a team set up where yeah you shoot the pistol, but this time it's going to be slightly harder because you're only worrying about that one station, you know.
yeah. And
So
have a lot of water, because
oh
make it
yeah
hot, make it hot.
yeah
And I would tell them to hydrate before, the week before, so they don't pass
yeah.
on it. I
Seeing the
know this is
daily
like
shooter thing, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I know this is like things that people don't think about it. You just go shooting, but as when we used to do training and all that, we used to think about that because people will pass out so quick.
Oh
So
yeah, exactly. People
I
who
think
aren't used to doing all that stuff.
I just subscribed to his channel. I think it's called Vickers Tactical, and I mean, man, excellent channel. But he has a video in Russia, I think, yeah, Russia, and it's like special forces, some kind of Russian dudes. And one of the drills that they had was actually, this is like the top of the top special forces. One guy actually puts a vest, and the other guy actually shoots him twice in the chest. Never seen this before, and I don't
Wow.
think it's. I don't. You can go and check him out. The video has over 1 million views. I don't think it's a fake because this guy has a pretty very nice channel, and you could tell he's like prior military and like cool looking dude. Has 39,960 subscribers. So I'm gonna put the link in the inside comment so you can see it. But anyways, he gets shot twice, and then the dude that just got shot takes his pistol out and shoot back to a target, but as the target is like right next to the guy who just shot him. If that make any sense.
Wow. So it's
So
not safe at all.
no, so like they're standing like me and you are standing right across from each other, and then
uh,
I shoot you in the chest twice with a real gun, and then you shoot me back, but you hit the target that is to my right.
yeah, that's
Never
definitely
seen that
Russian.
before.
That takes guts. Serious
Yeah,
guts.
yeah, I've never seen that before, and I gotta tell you, man, that's why when people were saying we're gonna go to war with Russia, going to war with Russia is not like going to war with Afghanistan. We have to
Eh, Yeah,
understand that.
really different. I mean,
That's
have you played Modern Warfare or any games like that?
Yeah, I mean, I played Call of Duty at one point. I barely play anymore,
Yeah,
but
because
yeah.
in Modern Warfare 2, that's exactly what happens. Like, supposedly we did a terrorist attack against them, an American citizen did, and killed a bunch of people in an airport. So Russia invades us. I mean, the whole East Coast is just decimated because the Russians, as they're coming through and their tanks, everything, are destroying houses as they go by, and your mission is to get everybody out of there and help people evacuate as safely as you can, and then get out there yourselves. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the war. I'm one of those people. I would love to have been in the Marines, but I'm sort of glad I didn't because I'm not sure how well I could handle combat. Now, if I had, if it came down to it where I had to, I would force
Yeah,
myself
I
to
have a
do it. But
choice. You don't
Yeah,
have
if
a
I didn't have
choice.
a choice, I'd tell myself to suck it up, man. Man up and get the job done. But
When people are shooting at you, yeah, you have no choice. I mean, what are
I'm
you
not
gonna
gonna, I'm not gonna do the Christian thing and let them shoot me. No, I'm making sure they know where they're going. Send you there quick.
do? Yeah, I mean, it's just, man. I mean, anybody looking to join the military is a good time. You learn a lot of things, and you get so much experience, and you gain a lot of skills that you're never gonna gain any other place. I mean, I've been in Iraq, Afghanistan, Dubai, Spain, Turkey, Greece, uh, some little island called Seychelles or Seychelles or something.
Hmm,
Uh, it's like a little island next to Africa. It's so small that you have to zoom in with the map. Like you have to like zoom in, zoom in. It's like 3 miles long or something like that.
wow.
I mean, Malta, which is a little country next to Spain. That's a beautiful country, man. Beautiful. Um, you name it, man. I've been all over the United States too, doing training. But um, a lot of guys join and then they go into combat and they're like, "Oh, I didn't know I was gonna go to combat. I joined to go to college." Like, and it blows my mind, man. Are you an idiot?
Yeah, pretty
You
much.
joined
Yeah,
the United States Marine Corps. You know that thing, the few, the proud. There's there for a reason. You know when they
yeah.
say Marines are it's not kidding. I'm telling you it right now. It's not, you would never want to have a Marine squad going after you. It's not pretty.
No.
I mean, when they send Marines into a place, there's a story about a terrorist, and I'm not talking bad about all the services. You know, the Army is great, the Air Force, you know, all those Coast Guards or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But there's a story about a terrorist telling some of the terrorists over the radio, like, "Hey, I see a convoy of Marines. You want me to attack them?" And his boss in the other side says, "Yeah, if you want to die." That's what he replied.
That's
If you want
awesome.
to die. So because Marines don't play around. So yeah, but like you say, I mean, there's some things that are gonna scar you for life, and you're gonna have to carry with you, and it's some things that will follow you because it's tough. You know what I'm saying? It's tough.
Yeah.
Now some Marines spend 20 years in the Marine Corps and don't do anything. So, like related to combat, some Marines have spent 2 years in the Marine Corps and they become, you know, they win a Medal of Honor. So um, those guys are they go through a lot of stuff. So if you want to join the military, you got to be open minded. You even the army, you know that something could happen where you're gonna find yourself in combat. If you think you're gonna join the military to collect the GI Bill and make money out of the military, and they're not gonna get anything out of you, the military will suck you dry, man. They
Oh, I
would
know
take
it.
what they want out of you. You will work like crazy.
Yeah.
So
I mean, even my brother's going into the Marines. He said his MOS is definitely going to be logistics because he's sort of colorblind, different stuff. And since infantry and combat is only volunteer as of now, he's trying to go into logistics. He might
yeah,
ship
but
out early, but
the best thing about logistics, he's probably going to be in the all four field, is that they get promoted so quick.
hmm,
It's crazy, unbelievable how fast they get promoted. Like for example, to be a staff sergeant took me 9 years. Uh, Probably for him to be a staff sergeant, it's going to take him 6 years.
wow.
So I'm going to be in the Marine Corps. I was in the Marine Corps 3 years longer to get that rank than him, and it all has to do with the amount of people they have and all that stuff. So, but it's an easy job to get promoted. But if he thinks that he's not going to be in combat, the chances of him to be in combat are really low. But if you don't think you're gonna be in combat, you're wrong, man. You may be in
Oh
combat
yeah.
because think about this. I remember taking the mail guy. We would do operations and we had to take the mail guy from this location to this location. This guy's the mail guy carrying a mail pack with mail
Uh huh.
to go to this base to give mail. And
Yeah.
in the way up there, we got attacked several times. So you know what I'm saying? You in a convoy delivering mail, but the convoy or the patrol is getting attacked. It's
Yeah.
not like the bad guy is gonna say, okay, I'm gonna shoot this guy, but I'm not gonna shoot this guy because this guy's the mail guy. You know what I'm
Nah.
saying? Is they're gonna shoot at
Yeah.
you too, buddy.
No, I mean, I'm
So
not trying to say like he's trying to run away from the combat. I'm
yeah,
just saying, he said since infantry is only volunteer basis, he's going to go into logistics. But yeah,
yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. You just need to be aware that a lot of the new guys that here is like, well, I never thought I was going to be in combat because I picked this job. Just be aware that that is something that could happen to
yeah.
you.
Now, if you want to
Um,
take your life in your hands, I hear you need to be a field medic if you want to die.
or an EOD tech. If you're an
Oh,
EOD, I got you got my respect. I did a lot of missions with them. They get killed like,
that's the bomb squad, right?
yeah, they get killed a lot. But they are pretty tough guys. You don't
Oh,
mess
I know
around
it.
with them.
Them
And
and
we have a guy
snipers.
here. What is Bomb Buster 72? He's a 22-year Army guy, EOD tech, and he will probably tell you. Great channel too. You should check it out.
All right,
So
what was that again?
Bomb Buster 72.
Bomb buster. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
awesome
neat.
guy. Yeah, I just put a video in his channel. He put a video on my channel a couple of weeks ago too.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. Uh, that, this just came to my mind. If you want a good laugh, then NFA, NFA thing out of the way and all that. Did you see the thing about the Rolling Stones article about the most dangerous guns?
yeah, that was stupid.
I was looking at them like revolver. Are you kidding me? I mean,
The- the-
these cowboy guns only shoot 6 rounds. Really?
yeah, I thought they were gonna mention like okay, a Glock,
The
but it
Mac
was like
10.
yeah, it was like pistol, revolvers, shotguns, rifle. Okay, so every gun. So
Virtually, yeah. I mean, it's just so generic. It was just so generic. It's like
yeah,
you really don't want us to take you seriously, do you?
yeah.
Eh,
But like I said, man, like a lot of guys concentrate on those things. But look, the Washington, the Navy guy shooter, what he used a 12 gauge. I mean, like
yeah,
again, man, you could use whatever the what was it? What's it? The Virginia guy? You probably don't remember this, but like 10 years ago, it was a guy shooting at people from the back of the car, and he's
no,
like,
I hadn't heard of that.
I think it was in Virginia, either Virginia or Washington. You could probably Google it. It was two guys. One guy was his stepson, and then the other guy was the older dude. And what they were doing was that in the car they had a hole in the trunk, and they stick a bolt action rifle and they kill people. And they used to go to the gas stations and they just snipe people like straight out. Just you be pumping gas, and next thing you know, shot you on the floor. And
Wow.
they created mass terror. Like people would stop putting gas because of those guys. And again, he used a basic rifle. So that's why people, oh, we need to stop rifles. Uh, you could go to Walmart, you could pick up a Remington 770 or a Savage Axis, which are budget bolt action rifles, and you could create terror in the United States. So that's why when I see like the Yankee Marshal and the main prepper talking about guns are not the issue, it's the people. We need to change the people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can change the gun. I guarantee
Yeah.
you they will go to, if there's no firearms, they will go to Walmart, pick up a slingshot, and find a way to kill somebody.
Yeah. Well, actually, I would be more scared of archers than I would of people with guns because an archer can hide and hit you, and you have no idea where he is
Oh yeah.
because you didn't hear the shot. So he could take that those bow and arrows and move, and you would never know where he is. He could hide he could hide it on a telephone pole. You're not looking up, just walk under and wait, and I'd be. But that's a primitive weapon. I
Yeah.
mean, even the traditional bows I shoot, I've seen people shoot aspirins with those things.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not the tool, it's the user. So I mean, same with driving cars. You could stick me in a Ferrari and I'll crash that thing in 2 seconds because
Mhm.
I don't know how to use it. Same
Yep.
thing.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you see guys in the shooter that we had in Canada. He killed a bunch of people, and they have crazy weapons laws up there. I mean, the people say, "Oh, was it British or England? There's no gun." Dude, they took away the guns, and the crime went up. The other types of crime, like knife and things like that.
yeah,
And they're saying people don't die in that country. Not so much. I read an article that said it was not because of the injuries, it's because of the emergency service. Like they have so many, such a good first responder that somebody gets stabbed, they are right there ready to patch him and take him to the hospital.
Wow.
That's why people are not dying. And it was a full article on that. And the doctors are so good that they know how to repair people.
Well, I mean, and that you brought up a good point. You bring guns out, and what are people going to commit crimes with?
Yeah,
Knives. You cannot restrict knives. They're too hard to find. So
yeah. Well, look,
people are going to do
they
bad.
do whatever
Isn't
they
it
want to,
ironic
but
that after the Sandy Hook shooting, everybody was focusing on the ARs and all that stuff? That a pressure cooker killed a bunch of people.
hmm
Isn't that sort of poetic justice there? Because
and,
I mean,
and the guy in China at the same time, it was a guy, I think it was China and Japan, that went inside a classroom and stabbed like 22 kids
yeah.
with a
Or that
knife.
guy before Sandy Hook a few years ago. I have some friends in California that
hmm
that the guy shot went on a shooting spree with it there again a pump action shotgun and killed 3 or 4 people, and it locked down the neighborhood because the police were trying to find the guy. I mean, and then just recently this year, that deranged guy who ran over like what 6 people, stabbed 4 people, and
Yep.
shot six. But you're just gonna focus on the 6 people he shot and not the dozens he seriously injured with a knife in a car?
Yeah. Yeah, that didn't win too far in the news because he used a knife and cars, so it wasn't good enough for CNN.
Nah.
If he would have used an AR-15,
Ooh,
he
there
would
it
have been
is.
a CNN. But you know what, man? It goes back. I mean, I experienced a couple of the things that you haven't yet, like being in the military. I mean, we arm countries, like arm them to the point that we're giving planes, like we're giving fighter planes. I being in patrols where the Afghani soldiers have rifles that I have carry. And my point with that is that it's so much technology out there, so much. I mean, we have cameras that I cannot even talk about the capability of those cameras because we could detect the enemy coming a mile away. We could see the bad guys. So you mean to tell me that us as a country cannot put some type of security in the schools? Like you can, and I'm just shooting from the hip over here, but can you put like a metal detector? Can you put some type of cameras? Can you hire someone? Oh, look, creating jobs to look at the cameras, kind of like a control center, to look at the cameras. And if you see a guy walking in the parking lot with a couple of rifles, that should like the light bulb should go on,
Oh
and
yeah.
then you have some type of system where you lock down the doors. And I know it's kind of like a jail, but you know what? It's gonna protect the kids. Or do you have different sections where you could lock down the east side of the school, so if something happened and the bad guy is in the west side. I mean, it sounds bad, but only the west side kids are going to be to that danger because we're protecting the east side until the police get there. Can you have police officers in the school? I mean, can you? And I'm not smart enough, man. I just got a bachelor's, in homeland security. I don't even know why I picked that topic, but I and an associate's in what counterterrorist. So believe that Jarhead Six has an associate's and a bachelor's. But sometimes people are like, "Oh, what are you talking about? You don't know anything." Oh, sure, brother. Not saying that a degree teaches you anything, but it gives you a little bit of an intake. But
Yeah.
can you do something? Like I went to physical security school. Physical security is where you learn how to establish different mitigations to stop the enemy. I was in school for 2 weeks with the army in 2006, and they teach you all different ways to protect a place from the enemy. We don't do anything. Think about this. What have we done to protect our children? Barely nothing. The
Laws.
only ones that done something, yeah. We need to stop the AR-15. Okay, how is that going to protect our children again? Because I'm
Yeah.
not getting. The only thing that we have seen I've seen is unpaid military vets that have volunteered to go to the school and protect our children.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure we've done something out there. I'm not going to say we haven't done anything, but we haven't done anything that have impacted what's going on in a good, positive way. Maybe we've done little thingies, but I guarantee you, Obama's daughters have Secret Service there,
Oh yeah. They're protected like royalty.
so he has the right to protect his kids.
Oh yeah.
but I don't have the right to protect mine.
But didn't you hear the one guy on the radio say the president's children is more important than ours? I mean, come
Yeah,
on, he's the
yeah.
president. We're not.
I saw a video. It's posted in the Jarhead Six community. Van Prepper posted a video there. I saw a video where the guy was saying a police officer, and again, I was a police officer, so I'm not like, oh, police, yeah, whatever. I saw a video where a police officer saying that we need MRAPs. The MRAPs are the military vehicles that we use in combat. They got one because there's a lot of vets that come from a lot of military guys that come from war that we know how to build IEDs. We know how to build bombs. So because of that, they need an MRAP. Since when we became terrorists? Since when we became the threat? Because
Yeah,
we came from war.
that's what
You know what
irritated
I'm
me.
saying?
And I'm not even a veteran or anything, but I'm thinking, wait, these people are you're preparing for something that most likely is not going to happen. I mean, how many mass shooters have you heard have been veterans? I mean, there has been I've heard of one instance where a veteran had shot somebody while he was on. It was during a Wounded Warriors project.
Yeah,
Hey, he shot the guy with him, but that guy stayed where he was until the police came there. I mean, why are the veterans under such scrutiny? Because they might do something. It's
yeah,
like you said, you're guilty before you do something.
yeah.
You're
I
not even wanting to do it.
I guarantee you that if something ever happened in this country, the vets would take a stand. I guarantee you that if Russian people will come down the sky right now to invade this country, I guarantee you that the vets will take a stand. They will be the first one grabbing their rifles and get ready to fight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it also like I remember I just a year or two ago voting here in Georgia, and it's now actually a law. But voting on do you the question was something like do you think military members that are under the age of from 18 to 21 should be allowed to carry a handgun? I said yes. And
Hmm.
you can't give a doctoral thesis in a voting booth, but I want to tell them, look, if I'm with a veteran, like say my younger brother when he's off duty, if I'm with him and I have a handgun and he doesn't, and active shooter situation comes, I'm handing him my handgun and hiding. I want him to use it before I use it because he knows how to use it better. So I
Yeah.
mean, of course I want them to have it.
Yeah, but a lot of guys come with issues, and a lot of guys have. But and people are quick to point it out. Oh, yeah, bro, you have no idea what that kid did for you. So, you know what I'm saying? And it's not the part if you agree on the war or not. It's the part that when the country asks them to respond, they volunteer and they win and they respond to that situation. And now, if you agree with the war or not, that's something else. But we elected that president. We elected our officials, and they decided that that was good for whatever reason. So the military guys they respond to it, and I tell you what, people think it's difficult to get out of war, get out of going on a deployment. It is so easy to get out of a deployment. If you don't want to go to Iraq or Afghanistan to fight, and I hate to say these things, but all you have to do is say, hey, I don't want to go. If I go, I'm gonna do this or I'm gonna flip out or something, and they will be like, okay, Roger that, and they leave you back, or you have a medical condition, they leave you back. So yeah, it's not volunteer, but if you want to get out of going, you could get out. I
Hmm.
seen guys do it. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I
Yeah.
I know somebody probably be like, no, no, they. I seen some guys not respond to the call when they have said it is your time to go. I seen guys saying no, I'm not gonna go because whatever reason, and if you made me go, I'm not gonna do my job, whatever. And okay, you out of the way. And now what happened is we hate guys like that sometimes because what happened is that because you didn't go, now this guy that was supposed to stay home and spend time with his family, now he's going. So this
Yeah.
guy maybe came back 6 months ago. So now he has to go again. So you pretty much screw him over. Um, so for me, it's kind of like it's not volunteer, but in a way it's volunteer because if you want to get out of the deployment, there's way for you to get out. And I know some military guys would know what I'm saying. So um, yeah, and then they get treated like that. It's just uncalled for. But then again, if you look at the Vietnam vets versus us,
whatever
I
classification.
wouldn't even know. Those guys got treated so bad. Uh, we get treated like 90% better.
Oh
So,
yeah. Well, I mean,
so
you know, this is something completely different, but I hate it when Congress or presidents try to control the military. The greatest proof of what if you let the military do what the military does, Operation Desert Storm. There's a reason we call it Operation Desert Storm and not the Desert Storm War because wasn't it H.W. Bush, the older Bush, said, okay, just go in, Colonel, which whoever the generals, go in,
mhm,
Mr. General, and just do what you need to do. 3 months, they got the job done. They were out.
mhm. Yeah, well, it was the thing. The thing about that is that you're dealing with a different culture. You know what I'm saying? This
True.
different culture of people. We want to make them think like we think, and that's not going to happen. You're not going to make them think the way that you're not going to make me think the way you want me to think. If I go into your house and I change your entire house and I tell you, hey, you know what? Now you're not going to believe in Christ. You're going to believe in this, and you're going to do this. You're going to have issues with me, and that's pretty much what's happening. Even though we are helping, because we do help them. I mean, I've been in towns where and somebody called me a liar the other day. It was like, you're a liar, you're a terrorist. I said, okay, whatever. I've been in towns where the Taliban have killed everyone. They got off in trucks, pretty much surrounded, and I'm talking about a city. I'm not talking about you think about a block. No, I'm talking about an entire city surrounded the city with trucks and got down and start killing people
Man, house to
and
house.
house to house. And when you walk through the town, you could actually see like items inside the house, like I don't know, like a plate, a cup, a fork, because people, it's like something happened and I just get up and start running. I left everything behind.
Yeah, that.
So, of course, we went there and took care of business. And about 10 months to a year later, the people came back to the town, which was nice because I got to tell you, man, it was a ghost town, man. It's kind of like The Walking Dead. You're walking through a town and no one is there. It's kind of creepy, you know?
Yeah,
But the point that I was kind of trying to make is that these people have a belief, and unless we change the entire education system, it's not going to change. You
yeah.
get what I'm saying?
Missionaries would get the job done better than military,
It's
but
Look, I went to a class called ATFP, Anti-Terrorist and Force Protection, and I was a British guy's there, and he was telling us a story where I think it was his driver or somebody, his brother got killed, and his brother got killed, and his the father did a meeting, and when everybody show up to the house, I mean, this is in Afghanistan, you know what I'm saying?
mhm.
He said that put a knife on the table, and put a knife on the table, and then the big brother picked up the knife. And again, I mean, he told us this story. I don't know if it's true or not, but based on the culture, I would say it's true. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And picked up the knife, and a year later came back and had a meeting again or a dinner again, barbecue, whatever they call it in Afghanistan. And the brother put the knife down in the table. He killed like five, six, seven people. The people that killed his brother, he killed them, and that's how it is. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, you kill me, so I'm gonna take you to court. No, it's not like that.
the
That's how
Avenger
they
of
take care of
Blood.
business. You know what I'm saying? You kill my brother, I have to kill you or a family member. Look, Gaza
Hmm.
and the whole Israel thing. I was watching a show where in jail, the guys in jail is guys in there in jail for like 50 years. They get weekend off. A weekend. You imagine giving a felon a weekend off?
Wow.
And the reporter was like, how do you do that? How do you know he's not gonna escape? And guess what the guy in charge of the jail said? This is the guy in charge of the jail. He says, if he escapes, we go into his house and his family will pay us money, or we will put his family in jail.
Hmm.
So that means that the guy has to come back to jail. Because if you don't come back after your weekend, I go into your house and I'm put your entire family in jail. You don't like that. You don't want that.
Yeah.
So it's just culture, man. The culture has to change for us to make it different. If that make any sense.
Oh yeah. But
So,
yeah,
but
that's a whole different issue. Well,
Chris,
I mean, even I remember back when after World War II ended, was Douglas MacArthur or whoever the general was then, said in order for us to set Japan straight, we need 200 and some odd missionaries and stuff, and not that many people came. I wonder if like Colin Powell or some military commander said that about would say that about the Middle East. Like if we had people go, we need this many missionaries in this part of the world now. You
Yeah.
know, granted that probably won't happen, but I mean, the the now on religion again. It's just looking at all that, it's shaping up. I'm waiting for the rapture to happen virtually because the way Russia's trying to reestablish its Western bloc and how much the Middle East is just bloodthirsty on Israel like it's not I've never seen before. And
Mhm.
what scares me most is America's turning its back on Israel. But just seeing all that happen is like you could literally take the Bible and see how it's stepping up to Revelation, the book of Revelation. It's
Mm.
starting to shape up there really quick. So that's almost what scares me the most.
Yeah, let's see what's gonna happen. I mean, God knows. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know what's gonna happen.
he's the only one that knows. But yeah, so,
I don't know what's gonna happen, but whatever it is, I'm prepared.
oh
I'm
yeah,
prepared to face whatever. And if we have to be in a different place, I'm prepared to face that one too. I hope it goes my way though.
oh yeah. It was fun. It was funny. Me and a guy at work were joking about that. Seeing it, how Israel and everything's shaping up. The guy mentioned, "Oh yeah, and imagine if the rapture happened now, you know, we wouldn't have to pay taxes again if that happened." I just stopped and went, "Take me now, Lord, do it now. Give me the trumpet. Forget Gabriel. Just
Yeah,
hand me the trumpet. I'm calling us up now." But
yeah, yeah, right. That would
yes,
be that would be an interesting day.
oh yeah,
We're gonna look like a bunch of little kids someplace. Like, what do we do now?
oh yeah, exactly, yeah. I'm trying to imagine like the funniest way to be sent to heaven or something like that. You're I don't know, you sitting on doing your business on the toilet and then you're staring an angel in the face like you're not supposed to
I
be here.
I saw a movie. I was watching a movie and everybody laughed and one guy, it was like a police officer's like, "Nah, it wasn't the rapture. I'm a Christian and I didn't go, so it wasn't that." And I was like, "Yeah, it was. I don't know what kind of Christian you are, buddy,
Yeah,
but you weren't welcome."
yeah, that is. Uh, well,
So,
I think we probably spent too long doing all this,
yeah,
sort of like covering random subjects as it goes. But yeah, thanks for doing this again, and hopefully we'll do something like this, maybe with more people on it next time.
yeah, cool, man. I appreciate the invite and you know, cool. It's always fun to talk and it's just let me know whenever. If I'm available, I'm down for it.
Yeah, and please do the same to me. If you're part of something and they want me on, just tell me and I'll try my best.
Yeah. I just don't know, man. I cover a couple of radical topics. I don't
Might not happen again.
know. I don't know if I'll be a good influence.
Yeah. Well, it depends on whose definition of good you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm just kidding, man.
Yeah, we're definitely not getting on CNN anytime soon. Yeah. Well, with that, I'll remind the rest of you to walk a Christian walk and carry a loaded Glock.